sure you can see me clearly. Just look at the camera.
Oh, yes. This one or that one?
Both of them.
There's some black on the bottom of this one. And it's a little bit here. What is that?
Oh, that's...
Okay.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another installment of Medical Missionary Workshop. This is the installment for July. Today is the 21st of July, 2024. And the subjects we're going to deal with today are Constipation Part 2 and 2 meals a day plan that is best for our health. 2 meals a day plan. What's best for our health. And as always, before we begin, I'd like to have a word of prayer. Father in heaven, first and foremost, we thank you for life today. And Lord, you, in your word, you tell us you will give us life and you will give it to us life more abundantly. So Lord, as we share this information, and it has been a blessing to our lives spiritually and physically, we pray that the same, as this information goes out, it'll be a blessing to all those that are listening, those that are on live stream, those that are here physically, and also those that are listening at a later time. We just ask for you to, we just want to be a blessing to others and understand that we each must understand our individual bodies and what's best for us. And Lord, we ask your blessing be placed upon everything that is presented. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Amen. And as always, I would like to start off with a scripture coming from 3 John 2. Beloved, I wish above all things that thou mayest prosper and be in health, even as thy soul prospereth. And also, a reading from the book Ministry to Healing, page 127. The only hope of better things is in the education of the people right principles that physicians teach the people that restorative power is not in drugs, but in nature. Disease is an effort of nature to free the system from conditions that result from a violation of the laws of health. In case of sickness, the cause should be ascertained, unhealthful conditions should be changed, wrong habits corrected. The nature is to be assisted in her effort to expel impurities and to reestablish right conditions in the system. And now I want to do this a disclaimer. The content that is available right now is represented and on this channel is not medical advice or a treatment plan and is intended for general education and demonstration purposes only. This content is not intended to diagnose or to treat any physiological or physical health condition, and nothing contained in the content should be misconstrued as such. The content should also not be used to self-diagnose or self-treat any mental health, medical, or physical condition. Don't use this content to avoid going to your own medical doctor or healthcare professional or to replace the advice they give you. Consult with your doctor or healthcare professional before doing anything contained in this content. Always seek the advice of your physician or other qualified healthcare professional with questions you may have regarding your mental health or medical condition. Once again, I just want to invite everyone this afternoon. We're here at Believe the Truth Free Seventh Adventist Church, and we're just sharing information. And my wife, Debbie, she'll be sharing the first part of the information, constipation and also 2 meals a day.
Good evening, everyone. Well, what we're going to talk about today, as my husband said earlier, is 2 meals a day and do a little review about constipation because they are both vitally connected. There are so many benefits from eating 2 meals a day. I practice that in my life, and my husband does also, and I'm a living testimony of what it will do. and how it benefits your health.
Could you share how long you have been on 2 meals a day?
Okay, how long have I been on 2 meals a day?
On 2 meals a day.
Yeah, 2 meals a day, eating 2 meals,
Right.
eating 2 regular meals a day. I want to express that word, regular meals, 2 regular meals a day, because there's a difference between eating a regular meal and then having snacks or eating in between meals or eating light eating, a regular meal. So he asked, how long have I been practicing this? And okay, I've been a plant-based eater since 1999, and I can't remember exactly how long to where I can give you years, but I do know it's been a lot of years, and my body, after conditioning myself to eat a plant-based meal, it just fell along in the lines of 2 meals a day. Because of the way I eat, as far as a plant-based meal, I have no desire at this time in my life, and this has happened over years of eating this way, to want that 3rd meal. And I believe that's because what I eat now is plant-based, and it's a whole food. They're whole food. So my body gets the nutrition and everything I need so that I won't want to eat a 3rd regular meal. So it's been quite some time, and like I said, my body has just adjusted. If for any reason, like I just had an experience where I was somewhere and they were eating 3 meals a day, I physically could not do that. I felt full and overworked and fatigued and all those other bad things from eating that 3rd meal. So that's been my personal experience. And like I said, I've been plant-based since 1999, so that's what, 25 years, and I know it's been a lot of years within those years that I've been only ate 2 meals a day on a regular basis, and then, like I said, I cannot eat that 3rd meal. I feel terrible if I eat that 3rd meal. So that's the blessing in learning and adopting the 2 meal a day plan. That's one of the blessings. Your body knows what we need. God knows what our body needs, and the body knows what it needs, and it'll tell us. And my body tells me now in my life, which I'm thankful for, that I don't need that 3rd meal. And by my appearance, I'm not lacking anything as far as being undernourished, malnutrition, or anything like that from just eating the 2 meals, regular 2 meals a day. Okay. So the health benefits from 2 meals a day, one is clean blood. I'm just going to go over and give the list. Weight loss and weight control. A clear mind, which is so important. That clear mind. Because when we have a clear mind, then we can hear the voice of the Lord. We can make right decisions. We can also know when we're not making right decisions. Have that clear mind, and it's very important, very vital to our lives to have a clear mind so that we can know what the Lord would have us to do and what is the right thing to do, make the right choices. So yes, eating 2 meals a day, regular meals, that is a blessing of being able to have a clear mind. Energy, like I said, when I have that, if I have a 3rd meal, and it may be a circumstance, like I said, I was somewhere and we were on a schedule, and there was breakfast, lunch, dinner, that 3rd meal. And when I tried to eat it, and this was this year, I had a problem. My body said no. And I felt fatigued and tired, and like I was just dragging, heavy from eating that 3rd meal. And I had to say that I'm, in all respect, I'm not, hungry right now. But anyway, yes, energy it gives you energy when you adapt to eating that your body adapts to eating 2 meals a day. It helps us to not have sleepless nights, because as we go on, we'll learn that when our bodies, when our digestive system, particularly our stomach, needs to rest. Our organs need to rest. That's why God has, that is part of who we are as human beings. We need that rest for so many things. And so, if our stomach is working while we're sleeping, then can we get a good night's rest? Oh, no, we won't. And other things can happen. We'll get dreams. And why did I dream that? Why did I have this nightmares? Why? Think about how late you ate, and was your stomach working, overtaxed and working? So yes, 2 meals a day helps with that, so you can have a good night's rest. And then also, it just improves our health overall. You know, at my age, you know, I praise God that people surprised at my age. You know, that's probably from getting that good night's rest, from not eating that third meal, from having energy to get up in the morning and or whatever time is available and do my exercise, gardening, and cleaning the house, and all those things. You know, overall health. And then I can say that the Lord has blessed me at this age, which is 61, I'm proud to say, and I'll be 62 within months, is that when I go to get a physical checkup and they ask me, how many medications am I on? None. And I know that is because of the blessing of how I've chosen to take care of my body and the 2 meals a day. My vital, what is it, your vital?
Vital forces.
My vital forces at this age are God's mercy and grace, and adapting the plant-based diet and the 2 meals a day is very good. Very, very good. So yes, it's good for your overall health. And now I'm talking about me at 62, but it's also, we'll find out, and we must understand, it's good for our children. They need this now. They need to learn these things now. And they need a clear mind. Okay, so those are the benefits. And I just want to talk about a little quick review of our digestive system and how it works. A simple, quick review. Well, our digestive system starts somewhere where I don't know if we really realize. It starts, the system begins to start working with our nose. Smell. That's where the juices will start to flow, the mouth will get ready, the stomach, everybody knows the stomach, we're getting ready to get our nourishment, we're getting ready to get clean blood, we're getting ready to eat. And that blood is vital to keep us going, to keep us from getting sick. So it starts with the nose. And, because that's the smell. And then connected closely with that is the taste. Now we're talking about the basic way that the digestive system works. Okay, so the nose and the taste. And if you remember back when we had the COVID was rampant, people who got COVID, what were one of the symptoms? They lost their smell. And with losing that smell, they lost their taste. And my husband, he did a research. And there's actually a disease out there for people outside of COVID that cannot eat, don't have an appetite because they can't smell. So the digestive system starts with our smell, and that affects our taste. They work closely together. Okay, then once we smell it, and then we want to put it in our mouth, and we use our teeth to chew it in our mouth, and then it goes down the throat, and then that throat is connected to our what? Our stomach. And that's where the work begins, in the stomach. But from the stomach, once it's properly digested, we'll have roughage and those type of things to get rid of of, because if we don't get rid of those things and they sit in the stomach, it can ferment, and spoil if it's just sitting in the stomach. And if it's piled on, and our stomach becomes a literally trash can, and you know what a trash can smells like and what's in there, we don't want that in our bodies. So once it's in the stomach, and that's what we're going to talk about a little bit more, of course it goes into the small and large intestines and the colon, and that then is eliminated out of the rectum, and that's what we want in a timely manner. We want to make sure it goes all the way through the digestive system and that it's eliminated out of our body, that it doesn't sit in our stomachs. Okay, so that is something I wanted to talk about in regards to 2 meals a day, understanding the digestive system, how it works basically, and that also will help us to where we're going as far as the presentation, talking about constipation, because if we do too much to this stomach and we don't pay attention to what we're doing, how we're eating, when we're eating, what we're eating, then we can end up constipated, and we can end up with diseases and all types of things. So let's talk more about the 2 meals a day. Okay? So we understand the digestive system. We understand that it needs to move. It's a system. That means it moves. It's a system, and it has parts, and it moves for a reason, for us to eliminate and remove the toxins and things from our body and the rubbish from the food that we eat. Okay. So we're going to start with this. I'm going to be reading some information that I did in my research to help us to understand more about eating 2 meals a day and how it's so beneficial for our health. Okay. It is quite a common custom with people to eat 3 times a day. Besides eating at irregular intervals between meals, and the last meal is generally the most hearty, and is often taken just before retiring, just before going to sleep. This is the reverse of the natural order. A hearty meal should never be taken so late in the day. Should these persons change their practice but eat 2 meals a day and nothing in between meals, the result would be seen in a good appetite and greatly improved health. So here we see that most of us know, and we're raised and know, that we're taught to eat 3 meals a day. And again, I want to say I'm not downing 3 meals a day, because there's a reason and there's a time, and everybody's body is different, but there are benefits when we choose and learn about eating the two meals a day instead of 3. And it's stated here that most people eat that 3rd meal when? In the evening, before going to sleep. So it's very important to learn when we just make the choice to eat the 3 meals a day. What times are we eating? What are we doing to our stomach? Are we overworking our stomach? When are we eating? And you know, life is busy, and we can't get to a meal, can't get to good, but we're going to learn that that's another benefit from just eating 2 meals a day. Not having that 3rd meal that's detrimental, that you eat late at night before you go to sleep, and what it is detrimental to our health. So the benefit is eating that 2 meals instead of 3. And we're going to learn that we don't want to overwork our stomach, because it brings on so many things, diseases and things like that, and then it's really not a natural order. And also, I want to share this, that eating 2 meals a day is good economically, because you're not spending so much money to buy food, because you want that 3rd meal, and you want the snack in between, and this and that and the other. So we really need to be economical and save money So if you choose, your body is conditioned, and it can be if you choose to. Taking that third meal a day will save some money. It's economical. So that's a blessing for eating 2 meals a day. Okay? I'm going to continue on here. It says that rest needed by the stomach. The stomach must have careful attention. It must not be kept in a continual operation. Give this misused and much abused organ some peace and quiet and rest. After the stomach has done its work for 1 meal, do not crowd more work upon it before it has had a chance to rest and before sufficient supply of gastric juice is provided by nature to care for more food. So that is saying the stomach is a very tender and vital. The stomach, when you think about the stomach, it is what processes whatever we bring into our bodies to give us the nutrients that we need for our bodies, to give us clean blood, to have a clear mind, to make the right choices in life. So the stomach is very vital. And when we overtax it, don't let it rest and put more food on it, we're abusing it. We're abusing this organ. And this organ is vital to the rest of the organs of our body, for life, for our vital forces. So we have to learn how to let the stomach rest. And the body will tell you your stomach is not rest, and your food is not digested. And then when we do that, it causes more problems. Okay, I'm going to continue reading. It said, 5 hours at least should elapse between each meal. How many hours? At least 5 hours. And I have practiced this, and when I practice this, my system runs perfectly, like a car is tuned and taken care of, and like a machine, and that's what the system is. It's a physical machine that helps us to get to where we got to go in life, and that car get to, like the car has to get to where it has to go to take us. When I practice waiting 5 hours, and you can drink in between, and you can drink water in between, and then you're getting your water intake, which is very vital. That water intake is vital for the stomach to help it to do the work. It's like the gas you put in the car to help the car to work, or the tune up oil, whatever you put in the car. That's what water is like. So you get your water in, that pure, and get that pure skin, and help to eliminate those toxins through urinating. So when I practice waiting those 5 hours, I feel so much better, and my system works. I'm not constipated. So it said at least 5 hours should elapse between each meal. And always bear in mind that if you would give it a trial, you would find that 2 meals are better than 3. Trial. No, we're not saying we're forcing you. You gotta do it, because everybody's different. And if you have to have that 3rd meal, there's also a way to do that. And there are those who need it. But if you give it a try and practice it, we are so conditioned to eat 3 meals a day that it can be hard. But if we look around us and look at our families and look at our friends and look at how many people are sick and just use common sense, could it be we know there's things and toxins and all these things that affect our health, but what we can control is what we're talking about right now. What we can control based on the education, like we said in the beginning. This is for education, and it's something that to share because we've experienced it and we know the blessings, and that's why we want to share it and tell. Because people are so busy and people don't take the time. That's why we're doing this now, so that the Lord has blessed us so that we have the time to share. And it's been our experience. We're not doctors and this and that, and you don't have to be all those things to understand your body. We all should understand and what works best for us and what will help us to be healthy and to be able to live a life more abundantly as God has told us He will give to us as we are obedient and we learn and we want and we choose to want to do these things. Okay, so I'm going to continue on. Eat a substantial breakfast. It is the custom and order of society to take a slight breakfast. But this is not the best way to treat the stomach. We're going to focus on the stomach. There are 2 meals a day. At breakfast time, the stomach is in a better condition to take care of more food than the second or third meal of the day. The habit of eating sparingly breakfast and a large dinner, and I'm going to put in there, and in between that dinner, if you add a lunch, but anyway, a large dinner, it says, is detrimental. Make your breakfast correspond more nearly to the heartiest meal of the day. So that is saying that our breakfast should be the heartiest meal of the day. And again, that is something we're not conditioned to do. We want to eat a light breakfast, and don't let us have to be to work or somewhere. We're going to grab something real quick. It might be eating in the car, something light, and not even eat breakfast. And that's very detrimental. Not even eat breakfast. But we want to eat something light. We want to grab something real quick, and we're working people, and sometimes we don't even eat it. Life is so busy, we won't even eat breakfast. But I'm going to tell you, in my household, I am busy. And praise God that my husband encourages me. We have to encourage one another. If you learn this, be an example in your home and to your friends, and especially in your home, because it starts in your home and it goes out. Be an example in your home. My husband helps, and we encourage one another. He helps me, and I pay attention because he encourages me, because we have what we do each day. We're going to get that we're going to get up, we're going to get the exercise, and we have a t-shirt. We have a t-shirt ministry that says, no Bible, no breakfast. So we go out because it's hot. Now we do this, we switch our exercise to exercising first thing because it's so hot. We all know it's been hot all over the United States. So we try to beat the heat. So we get up early in the morning after we have our prayer, talk to the Lord, and we go walking our miles, and then we come back and we study, because no Bible, no breakfast, and then we eat. And it's what we eat, how we eat. And my husband sometimes, because on my mind is going, I got to do this, I got to do that. But he always says, you got to eat first. Have you ate? So yeah, we get so busy, we'll grab something and we don't make breakfast our heartiest meal. But we're going to talk more about that. But it's saying here that make breakfast correspond more nearly to the heartiest meal of the day. Okay, now we're going to read on. Late suppers. Late suppers are particularly harmful. With them, the disturbance is created. With them, the disturbance created is often the beginning of disease that ends in death. That is very serious. So what this is saying, what I'm researching, what this is saying, this information is saying is that late suppers are very dangerous. Harmful, particularly harmful. With them, the disturbance created is often the beginning of disease that ends in death. So what that's saying is, when we eat late, it disturbs the what? The stomach. It needs to rest. It gives our body rest. And the food is not processed properly. We're not resting. Our stomach is overtaxed. We're overburdening and abusing our stomach, which affects the rest of the organs. And that food, if we don't wait them 5 hours in between, it's going to sit there. And that's when the toxins come. And that's when your blood gets dirty. And the blood that we need, the clean blood that we need, it affects that. And the blood is not, it doesn't flow, it's sluggish. It doesn't get to all the organs to revitalize them. That's that late supper. And mostly, that's that third meal. So yes, it's dangerous. And it can lead to death because it can bring upon diseases. It can constipate us. If we're constipated, that we can't eliminate, what do you think that trash is doing? What is it doing to the body? It can't be doing nothing good. It's trash. It's went through the digestive system. Now it's to come out the rectum and be eliminated. But because of how we're eating and what we're eating, it may just be sitting there. And our stomachs become a trash can. And that's inviting diseases. And our blood is not clean. We can't think correctly. We're tired. So all that is affecting us, and we're going to bring upon some things. Nothing good is going to come from that. Nothing good. Okay, I'm going to read on. Let's see here. I'm going to read this. Many indulge the habit of eating just before sleeping hours. They may have taken 3 regular meals, yet because they feel a sense of faintness, that means you just kind of feel kind of weak, as though hungry, will eat lunch or a 4th meal. Now, how many have done that? You're going to eat lunch, you're going to eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And because our bodies often we feel faint, we might eat a 4th meal. Now, there are medical reasons for having to eat more than twice a meal. But are we in that state is what we have to ask ourselves. Do we have those conditions, or do we just want to keep eating because our eating habits are not correct? Okay. It says, okay, let's see, the 4th meal. By indulging this wrong practice, it has become a habit, and they feel as though they could not sleep without taking lunch or having that 4th meal before retiring, going to sleep. In many cases, the cause of faintness, feeling weak, or faintness is because the digestive organs have been already too severely taxed through the day in disposing of unwholesome food forced upon the stomach too frequently and in great quantities. The digestive organs, thus taxed, become weary and need a period of time they need a period of entire, I may have lost my point here. But anyway, what this is saying, that eating so late and eating sleeping before sleeping hours, eating that 4th meal, that affects our sleep. We know that, and we may feel faint because we overate all through the day in between those meals, and we're feeling faint, and therefore we think we need that 4th meal. But what is actually happening, that we ate the wrong things possibly, and we ate too much, and that is why we're feeling like we're faint and we need something else to eat. And that, again, is if there's no medical reason for that. Okay, I'm going to read on. It says, and this is what happens. And this is what happened in a positive way for me. Okay, it says, the stomach may be so educated as to desire food 8 times a day and feel faint if it's not supplied. But this is no argument in favor of so frequent eating. So in other words, even if your body is so educated because of our habits, we want to eat 8 times a day and feel faint, feel weak if we don't. It says, but this is no argument in favor of frequent eating. So it's saying because your mind and your body is saying that, and a lot of times it's your mind. It's the mind. The mind is saying, I need to eat, because we are so used to eating 8 times a day or whatever, continuously eating, and we feel faint, and the mind affects the body. That doesn't mean that we should continue to eat frequently. And that is because our habits. The reverse of that is because I chose to eat plant-based food. Diet started in 1999, and my body was supplied with the nutrients that it needs. I didn't have, as time went on, I believe right in the very beginning, where I didn't have it, where I needed to eat that third meal. And so the opposite of that, and that's the mind, and also it affects your mind when you eat that way and eat the right things, and it affects the body. So by me eating the plant-based meal, I got all the nutrients, my body got all the nutrients it needed, so I had no desire to continue eating and to eat that third meal. But the person opposite of that, they're so used to eating the wrong things, and there's no nutrients in it, it's just calories, and they're eating. They think in their mind, and it affects the body, that they need to eat more frequently, and that many times a day, 8 times a day. But that happens when we're snacking, eat, snacking, eat, snacking. Okay, I'm going to continue to read. All right. It says here, to some it is a temptation too strong to be resisted to see others eat a third meal, and they imagine they are hungry when the feeling is not a call for the stomach for food, but a desire of the mind that has not been fortified with firm principle and discipline to self-denial. So that is saying again, they can see somebody eating, like our children. They see us eating, so they want to eat. You know, have you ever seen somebody eat, then you want to eat because you see everybody eating, everybody's asking you what you're eating? So if we continuously eat and we see somebody eat, and we're like, whoo. Even a person third eating 2 meals, whoo, I see him eating, now let me get something to eat too. So that is saying that, and the stomach's not, it hasn't a call for food, it's just the mind. The mind desires to eat. To eat. It's in the mind. But when we stick firm to principle and have discipline and self-denial, and it's not self-denial, I won't say self-denial, because it's a choice to not eat it knowing the effects that it would have on us. And it feels good when you accomplish that. When you may have a desire to eat, but you know that it's not good, and in your mind, you say, I'm not going to do that because it's going to have an effect on me. I'm not going to do that because I'm going to have an effect on my family or the next person. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to eat that third meal, or, again, if you're medically and you physically don't need it, I'm not going to do that. If you're just glutton and overindulgent just because, then that's a whole different thing.
I had a question. Could you expound a little bit on drinking lemon water first thing in the morning?
There's a question, and I was asked to expound drinking lemon water first thing in the morning. Well, let me see how I can answer this. First of all, let me say I do, and I've researched and I know why. Let's see. I need some help with that because I know that we need to, and it's very beneficial to drink that lemon water, and it has a process of cleaning and removing toxins. So help me with that.
It helps to stimulate the liver.
Oh, that's right.
And also get your body to an alkaline state.
It helps. Okay, so having lemon water helps to stimulate the liver and to get our body in an alkaline state. I forgot. I know that's something that we need to do in our practice. I have lemon water right there with me. But yes, and I try to have lemon water first thing in the morning when I have my water, my 64 ounces.
32. You start off with 32.
Yeah, 32 because 62 ounces makes 32 plus 32 later on is giving you the ounces that you need is very beneficial, and you will feel so revived and so different if we do that, when we do that, and that's that 32 ounces in the early part of the day, and then get your other 32 ounces in the rest of the day at least, and you will feel the difference, and will help you not to be constipated and your digestive juices and the system to flow good, just like the car needs gas or oil or tuna oil or whatever. But yes, lemon water, the question was, what are the benefits of lemon water? And it stimulates the liver, and it helps to get the body in an alkaline state. Okay, let me continue to read. It says here, this is a testimony of what happened to a person and what can happen when we eat irregular and we overeat and we eat too much. Yeah, okay. Brother H. Wait a minute, let me start here. This is talking about Brother H. He likes, his likes and dislikes are very strong, and he has not kept his own feelings under control of reason. Now, this is a person, because of their overeating, this is what's happening. He's named Brother H. Brother H, your health is greatly injured by overeating and eating at improper times. This causes a deterioration of the blood, or determination, that's what it says here, of the blood. In other words, it affects the blood to the brain. So it causes an effect, not a good effect, to the brain, the blood of the brain, the overeating and the improper eating. The mind becomes confused, and you have not proper control of yourself. So this person, it sounds like they're irritable. And this is because of overeating and improper eating. It affects the mind. You appear like a man whose mind is unbalanced. You make moves and are easily irritated and view things in an exaggerated and perverted light. So this is affecting Brother H's mind. He's irritated. He makes strong moves, it says. And that's pertaining to his attitude. And he's seeing things the way they're not. And you view things in an exaggerated and perverted light. And it says you need to abstain from the overeating and the improper eating. And what's going to help with that also is, it's saying here, suggested, plenty of exercise and open air, a good diet that is essential to Brother H's health. You should not eat more than 2 meals a day. If you feel that you must eat at night, take a drink of cold water, and in the morning you will feel much better for not having eaten. So that is saying to Brother H, if you feel like you got to have that third meal, instead, drink some water, and you will feel much better in the morning. You won't wake up irritable with strong moves and exaggerating, and won't be irritable and thinking things that are not true. Okay, let's see here. It says here, with regard to the diet question, this matter must be handled with such wisdom that no overbearing will appear. So we're talking about in regards to the diet question, that it should be handled with wisdom, and I pray that's what I'm doing, is not is sharing the wisdom, the understanding that I have, and not appear overbearing, because we don't want to feel that, we don't want to be overbearing and say that you got to do this, you must do this. Everybody's different. We're just sharing, and we're just wanting people to think and apply it to their lives and see the blessings, see the benefits from it. So it says not to be overbearing. It should be shown that to eat 2 meals is far better for the health than to eat 3. But there is no authoritative forcing seen. Again, we're not here to force, we're here to encourage, we're here to share information. So in regards to the diet, and we're talking about the 2 meals a day instead of 3, we're not trying to force anyone, but we are sharing the blessings and the information of the benefits of eating 2 meals a day. Okay? We'll continue reading. This is talking about time. The days are now growing shorter, and it will be a good time to present this matter, and that's talking about the 2 meals a day. As the day shorten, let dinner be a little later than the third meal. Wait a minute, let dinner be a little later, and then the third meal will not be felt necessary. So it's just saying here that the days are getting shorter, and that's, I think about that in two ways. Time, and this was probably referring to, what is that, when we go back in time and your days get shorter, it's probably referring to that, but also our days are getting shorter if we notice in life itself. But it's saying that because the time is getting shorter, it would be best not to have that third meal. So, so that's saying, yeah, it'd be best not to have that third meal because the time is getting shorter. Because some people will seem like everything is crowded in as the actual time changes of the day. But life is getting shorter, and it'd be best for us not to have that third meal and feel that it's so necessary. Okay, let me continue reading. Let's see. Okay, we've kind of read this one. I may be finished here. Let's see. It says here, the importance of regularity in eating. After your regular meal, we're talking about your regular meal, is eaten, the stomach should be allowed to rest how long? For 5 hours. And then it says, in no case should the meals be irregular. If dinner is eaten an hour or two before the usual time, the stomach is unprepared for the new burden, for it has not yet disposed of the food eaten in the previous meal, and has not vital force for the new work. Thus the system is overtaxed. So this is talking about eating in regular times, and eating regularly. The importance of eating regularly. So if you get off your schedule 1 or 2 hours, the stomach may recognize that, okay, this is not supposed to be happening now, and it's not working because it's used to the schedule. When we eat, like I said, and this is harder for a person who may be working, but we can still do it because I have done it both not working and working, staying on my schedule, and not my stomach not saying, oh, what's going on now? We should set a time and go about our day. We know what we have to do each day. Okay, all right, I eat at this time, my first meal, and I go and do all the things and go about my day, and I need to make sure I get 5 hours later when I eat early that morning, whatever time it works for you, but make sure that you space that 5 hours after your hearty breakfast, and then you eat your dinner, your light dinner, because our dinners need to be lighter 5 hours later after the hearty breakfast. Space it in your life practices, in your daily life, to where it's 5 hours later from the breakfast, and then it's time to eat, and the stomach, the body gets used to that. It gets used to being on that schedule. Now, if something comes up or you can't do it, then that's different, and it's going to recognize that something's off. But it's just suggesting that it's a good idea, and from my practice, it is good to eat at regular times, regularity, not all over the place. Just want to grab something here, this time and that time. You're throwing your system off, and your stomach's like, what's going on here? Is it time to do? No, so yeah, regular. Try to pace our life to where we can eat regularly, and it can be done where you can have regularity. Like I said, we get up in the morning and we said we're going to do our exercise now because it's hot, and we're going to come back, and then we're going to have study, no Bible, no breakfast, and then we're going to eat. Do that every day. And then 5 hours later, after eating that hearty breakfast, then we're like, okay, now we need to get that second meal in, and get that in prayerfully before it's time to go to bed, because our stomach it needs to be emptied before we go to sleep from doing this work. It should not be doing work while we're sleeping. So the hours before you go to sleep are also important too. To not eat late, not eat that late supper, because as we read here, what does it do? It can lead to disease and to death. So we don't need to go to bed with that late supper. So we got to eat, we get up, that hearty meal, and we got to get practice. Time is short, hours are short, life is going, but for our health and for vitality and to not to go to our graves early, we practice these things. Get up, get me on the register, get up and eat something. And go to bed at the proper time, as life permits, and we adjust. We're all over the place. We have to get ourselves on the schedule, and we can do it. And it can fit you personally, like it has fit me personally, when we have the want and desire to be healthy and to feel better and to be able to live a life more abundantly. Then we'll put these practices into place. But again, it's important to have this stomach empty before we go to bed and have done its work. We're going to talk about meal planning, and we're going to continue to talk. My husband's going to share more, and I hope I've been helpful as the benefits. There's so many benefits, and you can do it. I have done it. It's healthier for us to eat those 2 meals a day. And there are going to be some that have to eat 3 meals a day based on your life and what you do daily and your health. But if you even eat those 3 meals, make them schedule them, make them light. That's why we want to do meal planning. Keep us in prayer, because people want to learn how to prepare meals and how to do this, because we are so conditioned to where we stop and get us something to eat fast, and that's not good food. We got to learn what's the right foods and how to prepare them and do research. There are ways. It's not just us. There's people who want to know how to be healthy. So there's information out there. We want to continue to share what the Lord has shown us, and we've tried ourselves to help you to get to where we all need to be. Because we all got to admit and use our God-given sense, common sense, that we're eating all wrong. We're eating the wrong foods, and we're eating the wrong way, and none of these things are healthy for us, and the hospitals are getting packed. You go to a hospital now, and some of them like little cities. Packed, everybody packed. And then all around us are friends and family members are sick. There's something that we're doing, and we can make changes and learn together and share and be a blessing to one another. So that's what we're doing. Okay, I'm not going to keep going, but I feel like I've left something out, but I just want to do a quick review. We need to practice, and I practice this in my life, eating our 2 meals a day. Your heartiest meal should be breakfast. And this is what I wanted to share. How do you do that? Well, this is how we do it. Okay, and this is what you can do now, too. Switch that over. Instead of eating that late supper, heavy supper that's going to weigh on your stomach and tax your stomach, and you might even be eating it at the wrong time before you go to bed, because I believe you should have eaten, your stomach should be empty, and you should have eaten it at least 2 to 3 hours before you go to bed. So you got to schedule this. My husband's saying
At least 3 to 4 hours before you go to bed.
He's saying 3 to 4
At
hours
least.
before you go to bed, and that's a perfect practice. I believe I read, and I don't want to contradict what he's learned, but start somewhere, 2 to 3, and work your way up as you practice to those 4 hours before you go to bed. So your stomach will be emptied. It will have done its work. You can get a good night's rest. It can be vitalizing in the other organs, that good blood flow, and you wake up and you got energy and you're thinking clearly. Eat Don't go to bed with food on your stomach. And if you eat late past whatever time, 6, be it 7, then go walk somewhere. Walk up and down the driveway. If you got a bike, get on that bike. If you got one of those things you jump on, get on that. Do some type of exercise and get that blood sugar to where it's supposed to be, because that's vital. That's why we're getting sick too. There's so much more to this. That your sugars are going up because of how we're eating, what we're eating, when we're eating. And when we eat late and we lay on it. And then the next thing you know, your sugar's off, bad, and you got diabetes. Don't eat late. One other thing, and I'm going to stop talking, but I praise God that He's bringing things to my memory. I want to share a testimony. I've been blessed to be able to work with a company that cares for the elderly. And we went out and we visited the patients, elderly patients in their 90s, 70s, bedridden, the elderly. And there was a nurse, a professional nurse. This nurse has been a nurse since 1963. 1 year after I was born. So over 60 years she's been a nurse. And she was with compassion and love, taking the blood pressure and asking that elderly patient questions and just checking to make sure that everything's going okay, that their needs are being met, they're being cared for. And do they have any concerns? Have anything changed since the last time she came to visit them? And this nurse, again, she's in her 80s, looks fabulous, and she's been doing this a whole career. She teaches nursing, a whole career of 60 years plus of being a nurse. So we're in a patient's home, and this patient was in their 90s, and she said, well, Miss So-and-so, how are you sleeping? And the patient responded, you know how elderly people can respond. And she said, well, do you eat late? Do you eat past 6? She says, because I don't eat late. I don't eat past 6. And she said that because when you eat late, now she said, I'm not suggesting you might have a little something light if you need it, if your body's telling you need something. She said, but I don't eat. She's 80, in her 80s, and she's been a nurse for 60 years. And this is what I witnessed. And I carefully listened to her. She said, I don't eat past 6. She said, because what happens is your stomach has to work. Now I'm just on my job, and I'm just listening to this nurse who's been a nurse for 60 years help this elderly person. She said, your body has to work if you eat late. And then if it's working so much, then it affects your other organs, Miss So-and-so. And so that's why it's not good if you're not getting good sleep and rest. Don't eat late. I don't eat. She was saying how she didn't eat past 6 o'clock. This nurse, vital, moving, going, where we going into houses and checking and talking, just going. As long as we're going and we're younger than her, she was going. But this was a practice in her life. A nurse for 60 years. She said, I don't eat after 6. And she told that patient that when you eat late, that it overworks your stomach and that affects your other organs and you feel tired and you don't get your proper rest. So it's important not to eat late. And as we read, eating late can cause disease and that leads to death. So now I'm going to do a little demonstration because I like to do hands-on and I like to be practical and I like to get down to a level where everybody can say I understand. So let me get my little presentation together real quick. And again, eating those 2 meals and allowing the stomach to rest and to digest that food with the 5 hours in between. That means you don't have food stacked and stacked and stacked on top of each other. It's digested, it's went through the system, it's been eliminated. Now, if you continue to stack food and stack food and stack food, what's going to happen? Constipation. So the 2 meals a day have a connection to being constipated. So let me do my demonstration and get out the way. All right. If y'all seen the last demonstration about constipation, we had the stomach, but we've added a few things to this demonstration, okay? I like to make things practical. All right. So, going about first of all, let's talk about the 2 meals a day instead of the other thing that we did last time, the review. We'll do the review, but we're going to talk about what the new demonstration of what we need. Okay, I just want to show you. So, when you're eating your 2 meals a day, as I practice, our heartiest meal. It's important that it's our heartiest meal. Again, if you start getting into practice of, okay, so I made dinner. Okay, I'm going about my day. Now it's dinner time. I cook dinner. Instead of eating, if I had breakfast, lunch, and I might even snack in between, but instead of eating this dinner that I cooked, how about to get into the meal planning and practicing the 2 meals a day, I take this dinner, and it's probably hearty because most Americans eat heartier at night instead of in the morning. It's probably a hearty meal. Take this dinner, this hearty meal, and put it up nice and neat in my little containers and stuff, and save it to where I can eat it in the morning. That's getting you on the start of eating your 2 meals a day the way we should eat it, with the hearty breakfast and then the light dinner. So if you say, okay, I want to practice this. I'm going, this hearty meal I'm making, you can start this now. You can start it now. Especially if you cook in your home for your family. We got to do that. But, okay, you've cooked your meal, the dinner for your family. I'm not going to eat that now because I really want to apply this 2 meal a day for my health, for my family. And for clean blood, a clear mind, not be tired, to have weight loss and weight control. I'm going to save this hearty meal and eat it in the morning, this hearty evening meal, and start saving it to eat in the morning. You will see a difference. What you're cooking now, unless it's a bunch of, I pray there's some healthy foods in there, but take that dinner, don't eat it, and reverse it, and make it your breakfast. You can do it. You can do this. I practice it, and we can do this. It has to be in our mind. It has to be a choice, and feel that, and we have to see the need. And I pray that this has been educational enough to understand why. But you can do it. Take that evening meal and say, I'm not going to eat it because I want to do the 2 meals a day. I want to change my lifestyle, my eating habits. I want to be healthy. I want to learn this. I want to do this. Not just for yourself, but to the glory of God. I have to say that. And it's about others. And I'm trying not to get emotional. But take that evening meal. And this is a meal plan, and start applying that to be your first meal, your breakfast, the hearty meal. That's what we need. And then you eat a light dinner before few hours before you go to bed, so your stomach doesn't work. But again, we were talking about the 2 meals a day. So here I have an example. I have here for my breakfast now. This looks sparse, but when I eat my breakfast and I eat these items and so many more that are healthy, that are plant-based, it sustains me and gives me what I need for the day. And that's why I don't eat that 3rd meal. So you see here, I've got me, now when we're eating, this is a bridge meeting. We'll talk about that, I'm sure, in the future. That's because eating this way and learning these things is gradual. It doesn't happen overnight. It didn't happen overnight for me. When I became plant-based, there were certain things that I did eat that I do not eat now to help me on the bridge to get over to where I should be and what I should be eating. So right now, my breakfast, hearty breakfast, may consist of these things. We have here carrots, sliced tomato, a baked potato, broccoli, avocado, my favorite thing to eat. And I love kale. Anybody can tell you who knows me. I love kale and greens and all those things, but it's plant-based. That's basically what I want to show. And it's the first meal of the day, and it should be the heartiest. There should be food, more food. Not overeating, but more food. You'll find when you eat these type of foods that you can eat quite a bit more to sustain you. You want to eat to sustain you, but not to overeat. But basically what I'm trying to show here is the things to eat. And these are plant-based, these are vegetables, and there are so many ways. We don't lack in food. We're not like we eat grass or anything like that. We eat good. We like to eat good food, and we eat good. And there's so many ways to learn how to make good food with plant-based food. So many things you can do. But this is the first meal, and that's what we're learning about today. And it's going to be the heartiest meal. I should have put hearty here, but you're going to eat to be satisfied, to get the nutrients, to get whatever you need to go about your day. And then when it's time to slow down and rest, you're going to eat lightly. Okay, that might consist of having some toast and some fruit and some crackers, some peanut butter on that toast, some almond butter, whatever your body can eat, because everybody's different. Some crackers. This is just light. And again, you got your vegetables, which are a little bit harder to digest during the day in the hearty meal, and then you got your fruits at night. Banana, strawberry, grapes, watermelon, crackers, toast. This is the second meal. And we don't want to forget our water in between these meals. Water. This is also going to help with the constipation and so many other things. On top of exercise, that helps with the constipation too, being active. But we got our water to drink. So this is our 2 meals a day. Our hearty breakfast. This is how we eat with the plant-based foods. And you can get there if you're not here where you're having these plant-based foods for your evening meal, especially that third meal. If it's something else, until you do, you got to take steps, little steps. So again, maybe your evening meal, that third meal you was going to eat, doesn't consist of these things yet. But practice the timing with that evening meal that you prepare, that you're eating. And guess what? That evening meal can't be no leftover fast food. It's got to be food. Now, that's the only thing I will say. Okay, if your evening meal right now is something that's not plant-based and it's something else, that's okay. You'll get there. We're going to help you. But practice when to eat by not eating that third meal and saving it to be your hearty breakfast. If you just start doing that and eating a light second meal, you'll see a difference right away. But if your third meal is where you done stopped at the fast food place and you done got you fries, some French fries, and a burger for that third meal, you can't take that and save that. So that tells you again about not eating these foods. So we talked about the meals to eat, the first for 2 meals a day and having our water. So now we're going to talk about a review of what we talked about the last time. That causes constipation and causes, again, diseases and death and sickness. These foods here. So we're going about our day, and we ain't got time to eat nothing. So what do? In the morning, we might grab some donuts and coffee. And we going about our day, so we got to hurry up. We're going to eat them donuts and coffee, and we're going to put them in what? Our stomach. We're putting it in that stomach. Okay, 2 hours later, not 5 hours, 2 hours later. Oh, it's maybe 3 hours. Oh, or 4 hours. Oh, it's lunchtime. Let me go out and get me something to eat at the fast food restaurant. So we're going to get our burger. We're going to get fries. We're going to get a soda. And we need some dessert. We're going to have an apple pie. And we might, if we're real hungry, we might have some chicken nuggets on the side. And that's from the fast food restaurant. It ain't been 3 to 5 hours. It's been only 2, 3, 4 hours. So we're going to take that. We're going to put it in the stomach. Oh, we just putting it in the stomach. We got to go. We got to hurry up. We ain't got time. We didn't have time to make nothing to eat. Put it in our little container and take it to work and eat at lunchtime in the lunchroom. We had to go out, get some gas money and spend. But fast food is hot. Spend all that money on that fast food, making ourselves sick. Okay, now it's dinner time. It ain't been that 5 hours in between. It's time to eat dinner. Oh, I just gonna have me some chicken, and I'm gonna have me a vegetable, and have me some corn on top. But it ain't been 4, 5 hours, 5 hours like it should be. That stomach, we gonna put this in the stomach. We just add meals. That's the third meal. So we didn't have breakfast, donuts, the fast food burger. Now, we might say, "Ooh, I feel so faint." And it's late at night, and I'm still up past 9, 10. Ooh, I feel hungry. I got some leftover pizza or I might even call me a pizza. Let me have me a pizza. Or what? Guess what? I have hot dogs in there in the refrigerator. Let me boil me a hot dog real quick and eat me some potato chips with it. Oh, this is the fourth meal. So we done put that in there. Now we ain't in bed. We done put the fourth meal in here. All this in here. We put this pizza in here and this is some chicken. Dinner. Put all that food in there. Stomach ain't rested. We done pile up. Stomach become a trash can. We a human trash can now. Now we're a human trash can. You know, I pray that this is really helping us to use common sense, but we are actually human trash cans. The stomach has become a trash can now. And toxins is building up in there. It's going into the blood. We get sick. No clean blood. And we constipated now. We can't even eliminate. We ain't drunk no water. We drunk soda. And then, I'm going to finish up with this. We might have us, in between all this, sweet tooth. Want to eat. I got a sweet tooth, but the Lord has shown me some things, and we'll talk about that, I'm sure. The Lord's going to bring that to my heart and mind for my husband is talking about. But we may have us some ice cream and all that in between, the snack. But now all this in the stomach ain't rested the stomach, and we've become a human trash can. And this is true. And you know that when you're constipated, you know that when you finally get it out, that it smells like something that you don't get that you want to put a gas mask on, because all this stuff is just spoiled and sit in the stomach because we ain't eating 2 meals a day, we ain't drinking water, we ain't exercising, we ain't reading the right things. We're going to get food that has no food, nothing for us, but to make us, to cause disease. We're eating a plate of disease, sickness, and death. I pray that this really helps. I pray that you share. I pray that people go back and look at this. Pray that we use our God-given common sense and think about what we're doing. Now, again, we're not trying to force anyone. You got to do it. No, out of love and wanting to share, and out of our own personal experience, these things the Lord brings to our mind, we say we want to share this. We want to share this. We want to do this for people. So I pray that it's been a blessing. I pray that we consider, if you have any questions, my husband's going to take, we're willing to share. We're willing to share a number, do whatever we can to help one another. You know, and not to go to our graves early, and we don't want to see our loved ones all of a sudden sick and dying. We don't want to see people dragging bags of medicines for this and that, and then the symptom. It's what we're doing, and we're, as the Lord is helping us to help others, we want to share. So I pray that this has been a blessing. If you have any questions, let us know. This is the end of this part of the workshop. I believe you. You want me to leave these up to you? See?
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, everyone. I'm going to take just a short moment here to further emphasize about the 2 meals a day and what it does for our health, and how we have been bamboozled in thinking that it's best for us to eat 5 or 6 meals a day. And to explain this, I want to give a definition. this correlates with the 2 meals a day. And I want us to understand what is insulin and how is when it's produced and what internal organ secretes insulin. Now, and this is all going to tie into this 2 meals a day. The pancreas creates the insulin into the bloodstream in response to eating. So, I want to be very clear with this. If every time we eat, the pancreas produces insulin, and we're eating 5 or 6 times a day, no matter how small that meal is, because what that is called is grazing. 5 to 6 meals a day, and a lot of people are dealing with blood sugar issues, diabetes, type 2 primarily, and also type 1. They're told to eat all these meals all through the day. So I want us to understand this fully. If you eat 5 to 6 meals a day because your blood sugars are dropping too low and you got to eat something all the time, at the same time your body is producing, your pancreas is producing insulin going into your bloodstream, and it's not getting into your cells. So we see how there could be a problem when the nutritionist tells you to eat 5 or 6 small meals a day, so you won't have your blood sugars won't drop. That's a problem. And we're going to explain this even more. Now, the pancreas detects glucose. It's called the pancreas beta cells detect the rise in blood sugar and release insulin. So as soon as you eat, your pancreas detects that and it releases insulin into your bloodstream. Now the insulin opens the cells, and the problem with diabetics is the cells do not open. They're not opening because of the blood sugar issues that happen. So insulin helps cells throughout the body open up and let glucose in, which gives the cells energy. That's if your body is working properly with the sugar. Now blood sugar returns to normal. So as the pancreas releases the insulin and the insulin goes into your cells, after a meal, then it brings your blood sugars down. So that's why I say it's best to test after a meal, test your blood sugars about 2 hours after a meal. So if the insulin is getting to your cells properly, it should bring down your blood sugars to a normal level. Now what we have is the spiking of blood sugars because we're eating all these meals, and we have to understand, when does the insulin start being released into your body? It says at mealtime, a little insulin is released even as you are first smelling or chewing your food. First smelling, a little insulin is released upon smelling your food. This gets your body ready to receive the sugar load from the meal. Then as you eat, the food is digested, sugar levels rise, which causes a surge of insulin. Right? So high blood sugar stimulates clusters of special cells called beta cells in your pancreas to release insulin. The more glucose you have in your blood, the more insulin your pancreas releases. Now usually, insulin is released after we eat carbohydrates that increase our blood sugar levels. So it is normal to have greater insulin after drinking a regular soda or what have you. Now, if you're dealing with diabetes, I want to make this clear. One of the ways to help manage your blood sugars without medication is to go on a 2 meal a day plan. Now, it needs to be looked over, watched over by your physician, and also you need to work at home and monitor your own blood sugars. Just like a person with high blood pressure, you just don't need to rely on the doctor to track it. You need to get your blood pressure machine, get you the blood sugar readings, get your strips and everything else. You can buy them and monitor your blood sugars yourself. So you got to take charge of your bodies. That's what we have to do. Now, these 2 meals a day are very vital, And what happens with 2 meals a day, if you just are consuming 2 meals a day, now there are some that need that third meal a day. It depends on your work load, work ethic. At the end of the day, it still must be understood that our stomachs should be emptied before we lay down. That's why your last meal should be a very light meal that's easily digested. That's why you look at your fruits, your whole grains, different things of that nature, things with a lot of fiber in them, things that have water content, a lot of water content. They'll digest through your system quicker. That way, by the time you lay down, therefore, your stomach will be empty and you get a sweet rest. Now, I want to give these time frames here. So I'm just basing this off a person that is working. They might have to be to work at 5 o'clock in the morning, might have to be to work at 10 o'clock in the morning. So if you base, well, most people, 7 o'clock or so, 6 at the earliest sometimes. So I'm basing your breakfast, the 2 meals a day. I'm going to give you a timeline. Your first meal, your breakfast, should be your largest meal, of course, what we've been talking about. Say 6 to 10. Say from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m., depending on your schedule, right? So if you take that first meal, your breakfast should be a large meal at 6 a.m. So you're looking at 5 or 6 hours later than that, you're looking at 11, 12 o'clock. So 11 or 12 o'clock, you take your second meal, which should be, we should think of it like this. Eat your breakfast like a king and eat your second meal like a prince. So it should be substantial, but that first meal should be the largest meal of the day. Now, so you can take this time, if you eat your breakfast at 7, you eat your breakfast at 8, you eat your breakfast at 10, 9 or 10, add 5 to 6 hours from that. Because everybody's body is different. Everybody's body is different. So you want your stomach empty, and that means no snacking in between that. If you need anything, drink you some water. Drink you some water. And in between that. So one problem we are having is a lot of diabetes is taking over our country. Pre-diabetics are coming up everywhere, and the pre-diabetics don't get it under control, they're going to be full-blown diabetics. Now, I don't understand why a person would not want to make simple changes to lower their blood sugars, and you can reverse diabetes also at the same time. And you'll be a lot more happier, because when you have uncontrolled diabetes and blood sugars, it wreaks havoc on your body. And that's what we're going to go about. Now, we're talking about this 2 meals a day, and once you take that third meal away, you're automatically going to put yourself in a fasting state. In a fasting state. It's going to happen automatically. If you take the times that you're eating, and if you don't eat 3 to 4 hours before you lay down to go to sleep, then by the time you wake up in the morning, you're going to be hungry, and you're going to put your body in a fasting state. You're going to look anywhere from 14 to 18 hours in an automatic fasting state. And fasting is one of the best ways to heal the body. Clear your body of disease, and we're going to talk about that. The 2 meals a day, the concept, I truly believe that the modern world has taken us out of sync. And when it's talking about out of sync, we have everyone wanting to eat all through the day, snack all through the day, and the world has, even the doctors are telling you to do this, especially for your body. So our body's natural rhythms, it takes us out of sync in our body's natural rhythms. And this causes us a lot of problems that span across nutrition, movement, mental and physical health, and our sleep. The 2 meal concept was simple, creating a plan to reconnect people with their body and teach a lifestyle that can be followed long term. So why is the 2 meal a day different? Because we were raised on 3 to 4 meals a day. That's how most of America, that's how much we grew up, on 3 to 4 meals a day, and not including and including the 3-4 meals a day, snack whenever you feel like it. That's including the 3-4 meals a day and just snacking in between all that. I used to be one of those. I ate 3 or 4 times a day and snacked all in between. Every hour and hour. I thought I was just so hungry. I needed it. So now understanding that the 2 meals a day, and you take that 3rd meal away, it'll automatically put you in a fasting state. Right? So when I hear today talk about fasting, but it'll automatically put you in an intermittent fasting state if you follow the 2 meal a day plan. Now, who is the 2 meal a day for? The 2 meal a day is for anyone looking to optimize their health and fitness, boost energy levels, reduce hunger, and improve their mind-body connection. That's what it's, so that is for most of all of us. Most of all of us. 90 to 95% of people will be in better health if they take 2 meals a day. 90 to 95% of people. Okay? It's incredibly simple and effective weight loss tool also. But it's not just for weight loss. A recent study showed that many biomarkers of health improve on an intermittent fasting schedule even without weight loss. The 2 meal day every day because of how it makes a person feel. It says I'm full of energy, I never feel hungry, and I stay lean effortlessly. I regularly eat out. Sometimes you might go out to eat, but you're still going to be very mindful of what you're putting in your system. Now, when it says that you'll stay lean effortlessly, I can attest to that. When you follow a 2 meal a day plan, and you're not hungry. I'm not hungry right now. I ate a nice big breakfast. I'm not hungry. I'll eat, when I get home, eat me some fruit. And I know we got to be careful with the fruits because there's some fruits that are high in fructose and not good for a person dealing with blood sugars. So you got a lot of berries and different things that you can eat. You eat some toast with it. Get you a little protein. You can eat you some nuts, something like that. But you want to always make your oatmeal is something good, something with some fiber and water content. But one key is this: if you're dealing with blood sugars, and those are not dealing with blood sugars, so you don't want to start dealing with blood sugars, after any meal that you eat, if you have an opportunity, you have a way. I know sometimes at work is different. If you're working, you eat your lunch, you might not have this opportunity, but if you have the opportunity, always do something. Move at least 10 to 15 minutes after you eat. Just don't sit there and let that food sit on your stomach, because a lot of times that's why you get so sleepy after you eat. You're not moving. So what it does, just movement. I'm not talking about no strenuous, run 100 laps around the track or anything.
Show what you do, steps.
And it can be simple. After you eat your meal, especially after your last meal, you can just walk in place for 10, 15 minutes. If you have a bicycle, if you have a treadmill, get on your bicycle for 10 to 15 minutes. What I do, I walk in place for 30 minutes, or I get on my bicycle for 30 minutes. Leisurely, nothing strenuous, right? Because it'll help bring your blood sugars down and keep your blood sugars from spiking because you're moving. 10 to 15 minutes. And you'll be amazed about the weight loss too. Now what we have now is, reason why I want to talk about insulin and diabetes is, according to the 2 meals a day plan, those that have been diagnosed with diabetes, they normally are told to do 5 to 6 meals a day to keep their blood sugars, level. And also, now we have the new weight loss drugs that have been introduced into the medical system. For a lot of those medications were used by diabetes patients. So now it's used as weight loss drugs. And what it does, the primary thing it does, it just makes you not hungry. Makes you not hungry. but it slows your digestive system. It is not normal, people. It is not normal. I know a lot of people, they're overweight, they what have you, and they flocking through their doctors, getting these prescriptions, and getting these different medications, and a lot of times they'll increase their dosage, and they'll start losing weight. I know, yeah, they will. They'll start losing weight, but people are not looking at what it causes later down the line, or it can cause immediately. When your digestion is slow, that can be a big problem. And we're seeing some of that right now, but over the length of time, you're gonna see more and more problems.
And some people have lost their lives because of that. There's stomach problems that it causes.
Right. It can cause a lot of stomach problems too. And the medical system is not going to admit that, but all they know, they can give you this, you lose some weight, then you'll be happy. And then a lot of times people know the consequences and they want to do it anyway. And that doesn't make sense either. So we just have to, we have to educate ourselves. Now, the 2 meal a day is becoming a way of life for so many people because of its simple, effective, and sustainability. It teaches your body to transition from burning sugars and carbohydrates to body fat for energy. This is one of the most empowering things you can do for your long-term health and wellness. There's a growing body of evidence suggesting that our bodies are only primed to digest and utilize food we eat at certain times of the day. The 2 meal a day teaches you to eat when your body is ready to eat. Now, I want to talk about this. Reason why we don't eat breakfast is because we eat late. We eat late and we go to sleep. Now, have y'all ever heard of GERD? A lot of people have a lot of digestive problems. I had a family member that had the acid reflux. And the acid reflux was simply coming from eating late. Because when I shared something with them, and they said, I haven't had no acid reflux since I stopped eating late. Just simple. It's simple. When we eat late, it causes stomach upset. We do not get good rest. We wake up tired because the body is constantly working all through the night digesting the food that you put in your system late. So you'll be better off. Go ahead.
Oh, so you were saying that because a person eats late, they also don't want, can you repeat what I'm saying? They also don't want breakfast in the morning. So that's one of the reasons why we don't want breakfast. Can you repeat that again?
Yeah, because we eat late, we eat so late at night, and then we go to lay down on it. When we wake up in the morning, that's why we don't have appetite. So that's why we just, go by and get our Starbucks coffee, and we get a donut or a Danish or something, or eat just something on the run and go on out the door.
Because our stomach is still full.
And because you still have all that all that food in your system, and it's not been digested. 2 meals a day for weight loss. Everybody wants to lose weight. Everybody wants to lose weight. We have become an obese people. We are large. We are rotund. I'm not trying to bring no commendation down on anybody, but we are. We can see it. And especially in the southern belt, we see it. We see the waistlines just bulging. Everything. We have all this, what they call that fat that goes around and it just presses against your organs. Visceral fat. So, just as a weight loss, large first meal, make it your largest meal, eat your second meal, and an appropriate time, 3 to 4 hours before you go to bed, you'll lose weight just in doing that. Just in doing that. Changing the way you eat, you'll lose weight just in doing that. But the 2 meal day has proven to be a highly effective and most importantly, sustainable weight loss tool. There are 2 main contributors to its success. First, you teach your body to start using fat for fuel, which means that fat burning. Secondly, it makes eating in a calorie deficit effortless. we're plant-based, so I never worry about calories. I don't count calories. I don't have to count calories. And my body weight stays effortlessly, following a 2 meal a day plan, effortlessly around between 170 and 175. It just stays. That's where it stays. Now, thirdly, you can lose weight without having to weigh every single gram of food or track every macronutrient. No one enjoys calorie counting.
I was asking what you just read.
Oh. It is a myth that if you skip a meal, you end up over-consuming and making up for it later in the day. Although it may seem like you are eating more when you have 2 larger meals, on average you are eating less than 3 meals and snacks.
That's right.
This is where the power lies and why it becomes a sustainable way of life for thousands. You are eating a bit less every day, but it feels like you're eating more. What a game changer.
Mm-hmm.
There are also many hormonal changes that are happening in the body that affect hunger and satiety. Many people report feeling less hungry overall, and this has now been backed up by studies. 2 meals a day for optimizing your overall health. The 2 meal day plan is proven to be a simple and effective strategy for avoiding major dietary changes while achieving strong effects, not just for one disease risk factor, but for an array of factors that constitutes a foundation for metabolic syndrome. Metabolic syndrome is that cluster of diseases, the diabetes, the high blood pressure, the heart disease, all these clusters of diseases. That's metabolic syndrome. Cardiovascular disease, cancer, and possibly even neurodegenerative diseases. Most importantly, it is becoming a way of life for so many people. Now, there's been recent studies out, and I had to mention this, that a whole plant-based diet can stave off and even reverse Alzheimer's. There have been recent studies on that, so y'all look it up. A whole plant-based diet applied the proper way. I must say that. Now, the health benefits, okay, so like I said, the 2 meal a day plan will automatically put your body in a fasting state. It said it reduces insulin resistance and metabolic syndrome, lowering your risk of type 2 diabetes, heart disease, and strokes. The number 1 killer in the world is heart disease. So wouldn't you want to decrease your chances of having heart disease? It has been shown to combat the worldwide problem of metabolic syndrome, defined as having a high amount of visceral fat combined with insulin resistance, elevated triglycerides, and or high blood pressure. It helps boost the immune system. Fasting not only protects against immune system damage, a major side effect of chemotherapy, but also induces immune system regeneration, shifting stem cells from a dormant state to a state of self-renewal. Okay, this is a word. Autophagy is a cellular maintenance process stimulated by fasting that is critical in disease resistance, longevity, and general body and brain vitality. It improves metabolic flexibility. It says in the capacity to match fuel oxidation to fuel availability, or switch between burning carbs and burning fat. Someone with great metabolic flexibility can burn carbs when they eat them. They can burn fat when they eat them. Or when they don't eat at all, they can switch between carbohydrate metabolism and fat metabolism with relative ease. It potentially slows down the aging process.
Yes.
Fasting reduces oxidative stress, which is essentially an imbalance between the production of free radicals and the ability of the body to counteract or detoxify their harmful effects through neutralization of antioxidants. It is one of the main factors that contributes to aging and many chronic diseases like cancer, heart disease, and Alzheimer's. Weight loss, as we discussed before, is going to make weight loss simple. A lot of people don't get that, but it does. Now, exercising with 2 meals a day. Fasting training can help you become more metabolically efficient. The 2 meal a day plan comes with a full host of workouts you can do. The easiest exercise for any of us to do is walking. As long as you can walk, walking. Get you a good pair of walking shoes, running shoes, and walk most days at least 30 minutes a day, 5 to 6 days a week, and you're on your way. Get these 2 meals a day planned out. Now, two meal a day is a lifestyle outside of just diet and exercise. It is a lifestyle. The 2 meal a day is more than just way of eating. It's a philosophy that includes every aspect of your life. Every aspect of your life. Because leading a healthy and balanced lifestyle means more than just focusing your diet and exercise. It is a lifestyle. How you sleep, how you eat, how you move, and how you connect are crucial long-term mental and physical well-being. Now, 5 reasons why you should try the 2 meal day. Teach yourself to understand your hunger better. Number 2, transform your relationship with food. Lose fat effortlessly. Eat delicious food. No calorie counting. And you know what? 2 meals a day, like my wife said, you'll save a little money. And you know what? You'll stay out that doctor's office. You're going to save more money, which could be a lot of money, because once you start coming off those medications, now I'm saying, follow this. Go with your doctor. You go to your doctor and say, Doc, I want to do this. So can you help me with this? Can you monitor my numbers, like it's on a regular basis? I really want to do this. I want to try to get off these medications. Right?
You monitor them at home too.
And you must monitor them at home. And because you got to take your wellness into your own hands, as God has showed us what to do, and as we share this information. So once you do that, your doctor says, no, you're going to be on that the rest of your life. Find you another doctor. There's nothing wrong with that. Find you somebody else that's going to work with you. Because all they want to do is keep you on the medications. That's all it wants to do. These hospitals are packed, like my wife said. You have pharmacies popping up, drive-through pharmacies popping up. Why is that?
But let them know if you're not going to do it the right way, then you have to stick with what's best, because you
Right.
just let them know that, honey.
You talk about the right way. If you're not going to want to do these lifestyle changes, then you have to do what most of the world is doing. You have to, take the medication and different things. You got to do something. But we're just trying to give you information to make it to where you can be healthier, you can feel better. You have if you're young and you're having children, you're married, you're having children. Then those that are older, that have grandchildren, some have great-grandchildren, you should want to be there for your children as long as possible. As long as possible. And this is one of the things that'll help.
And
Speak up, they can hear you.
a lot of the medications, what do they do also? They can cause constipation.
Yes, they do. And the side effects of a lot of medications is constipation. So you can be stopped up at the same time. It says, now, a myth, does fasting slow down your metabolism? This is completely false. In fact, the opposite is true. Lower insulin levels, higher growth hormone levels, and increased amounts of neuropilifrine all increase the breakdown of body fat and facilitate its use for energy. For these reasons, short-term fasting actually increases your metabolic rate by 3 to 14%, helping you burn even more calories. Now, the reason why I keep bringing up fasting is because you take that third meal out, you're going to automatically put yourself in a fasting state. Now, are fasting and starvation the same thing? No. There is a vast difference between fasting and starving. In the absence of food, your body systematically cleanses itself of everything except vital tissue. Starvation only occurs when the body is forced to use vital tissue to survive. That's the difference. The goal of fasting is not to calorie restrict, but to restrict meal frequency. On the 2 meal day, all you are doing is eating your first meal, and hours after that, you're eating your second meal. And when you do eat, you eat until you eat portionally. So what you're going to have, you don't want to be a glutton or anything, but you eat that first meal like a king, and that second meal like a prince. And if you have to have a third meal, and some people have to have that third meal, eat that third meal like a pauper. Very light. Very light. and so many hours before you lay down. Now, what are people saying about 2 meals a day that have actually taken an effect? It says that those that have taken this lifestyle on, this is not just in terms of weight loss, people are benefiting from increased and more stable energy levels, better overall relationships with food, increased mental clarity and mood, and some anecdotal experiences have also boosted healthier hair and nails, and even improvements in skin conditions such as psoriasis. So now, just a little bit more to share, because I wanted to, oh yeah, good time.
I got one more thing to say about children. You got to say it too. I want to read
You
that.
come up here, or you?
Whatever you two talking about.
Okay. Now, this is what I want to share. It said it couldn't happen in America. Researchers would be sued. You're starving them to death, the nutritionist would say. I have not traveled to many places in the world, but I have yet to see any culture anywhere eat more than 3 times per day, period. If you have seen otherwise, please let me know. Now, so it was a pleasant surprise when the U.S. Diabetes Journal reported on a study that flies in the face of the American Diabetes Association recommendation of eating 6 times per day. It has studies refuting that fact, because every time you eat, your pancreas is producing insulin. And if you already have an insulin problem, what do you think is going to happen? Are you going to help that diabetes? Are you going to be able to reverse that diabetes? No. Like I said, all this needs to be under the doctor's care now. I don't want nobody to say, well, Andy McCoy said that, I can do this, and next thing you know, you fall out somewhere, and then you suing me. I don't have nothing for you to be sued for. That's why we give the disclaimer. You have to take all these things to your doctor if you want to do them, and I pray that you do. Or if you're not in any of these disease states, then just take this so you can prevent the diseases from happening, them come about you. Now it says the less frequent eating resulted in dramatic improvements in all parameters tested compared to 6 meals per day. Participants that ate twice daily were rewarded with weight loss, fat loss, actually not muscle loss, but fat loss, fatty liver reduction, lower fasting glucose, improved insulin sensitivity, lower serum insulin, and glucogen. So these are the different things, and you give different examples, but we have to understand the 2 meals a day plan. I'm not saying this for everybody, but 90 to 95% of people will do better on a 2 meal a day plan, putting that first meal as your largest meal. Like my wife said, that's good. So if you want to start this right now today, and you're sitting there this evening, you got this big old meal prepared. You going to a cookout. You tell them, look, can I get a to-go box? And you take all that food home, you put it in the refrigerator, you warm it up the next day, and you eat it for breakfast. Because what's going to happen is you go out and you eat all this food late, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Sometimes people will eat all through the night, and you lay down on it. What's going to happen? What's going to happen? We have to realize these things. Now, I want to look at this. The wife wants to share something about children and 2 meals a day, but before I bring her up to finish out, is that, okay, I want to see if anything was added on the live stream. So I just pray this information, it helps someone, and I want to give my information. Anybody that wants information, wants to ask any questions outside of this on the live stream or the Facebook, you can contact me at amccoy1012@yahoo.com, or you can give me a call at 336-259-4997, because we're always available. Just give us a call, because let us take charge of our bodies, please. And 2 meals a day It's a beautiful, wonderful thing.
And the next one,
Huh?
meal planning, help.
Oh, the next one?
Yeah, we're
Well, you
gonna
wanna
talk about more
hold
about
off on
it.
that in case you wanna,
Okay, well, let me come up with you when we talk about the children.
yeah, talk about the children. Wife's about to come up and talk about the children.
Please stay up here because you said the children and the 3 meals they need. So you share
Yeah,
that part.
did you, no, cause I need
All I'm
to
gonna
print it
say
off.
is this.
What'd you get there?
Okay, I just wanted to come back up and just say something about our children, our grandchildren, and our great-grandchildren, and preparing them now. It's very, very important that we share or teach the children in our way and in a way where they can receive it. These things now, they can be taught. And I just wanted to read something that I left out about the children. And it's very important to me because as I look at the generation and what they're exposed to and what they're doing, especially when it becomes diet and what we as adults may be doing when we're not teaching them and we're exposing them. And we understand that life is busy and there's a lot to do, but health is wealth. And without that health, then we can't do the things that we think are more important and put them before our health. So we need to be able to be healthy to do those things that we're put before our health and be here for our children and even our great-grandchildren. So I just pray that as we share that you start somewhere, start the time and start practicing some way. If you take that meal that you're eating late, preparing later, have that you've gotten late, instead of eating it, say, no, it's late, I don't want this to sit on my stomach, I want to be able to change what I'm doing for my health, and save it for the morning. Let it be your breakfast. And you will adjust your body, your lifestyle together. You know what you need, you know what time to eat your breakfast, what best fits you, but the most important thing is to get that 5 hours in between and to not lay down with your stomach, with food in your stomach, heavy, in your stomach. Give yourself time to lay down and to not have that food laying down with you. Okay, I just want to read this. Children are generally untaught in regard to the importance of when, how, and what they should eat. They are permitted to indulge their tastes freely, to eat all hours, to help themselves to whatever tempts their eyes, be it pies, cakes, whatever that's unhealthy. So all that simply is saying is that the children are being untaught in regard to this matter. And the importance of when and how and what to eat. Share one more thing. My grandbaby came to visit me. She's not in my home, but when they come to my home, I try to teach them the way they should go and what to know. And my youngest granddaughter, she's getting overweight. I mean, just within a matter of time, I hadn't seen her, hadn't been years, months. She comes back to visit me, and she's overweight and being teased at school. And then talking to her mom, it goes back to us adults, what we're doing. It goes back to us, how we're teaching. Her mom, I had a talk with her in love and told her you need to be more active, and just told her as simple as I could in a childlike way what she needs to do. But they can get sick. They are getting sick. Diabetes is not just adults, it's children too. Blood pressure, heart disease, all of the adult diseases are now coming upon our children. Why? Because they haven't been taught the importance of when and how and what to eat. So we need to consider that very much so, because they need us. And so I pray that, this has encouraged you. We're willing to help everyone, and, we got to start teaching the children also.
Also, I don't know if you touch on the 2 meals a day in children.
No, I didn't.
Okay, the 2 meals a day in children, I would say the children are still growing. So feed your children appropriately. I'm not saying put your children on a 2 meal a day plan. What I'm saying is feed them appropriately, and they don't need to eat no more than 3 meals a day. And they do not need, what was just read, they don't need to be snacking all through the day whenever they feel like it. We need, as parents, we need to train our children
Put them on the schedule.
and put them on a schedule, an eating schedule.
3 meals.
I'm not saying 2 meals a day, I'm saying 3 meals a day because they're still growing, but in their activities. But a lot of times, the same problem our children are having, or what we doing with our children, letting them eat late, let them eat whenever. I'm hungry, and just feed them, Just the same way we do as adults. I'm hungry, you start feeding your body. You're not hungry, you just need to drink some water.
And it's what they're eating too. They don't have no calories, and they're not feeling full because of what they're eating.
The food is not fulfilling. That's why fast food, my wife showed the example about the fast food. I think the fast food restaurants are now having a war because the fast food went up. Now they're bringing it back down. You got the $5 meals at McDonald's now, and they're just competing with one another, and people are just flocking to them now.
But that's why our poor children are wanting to eat, because that's what all they're getting. They're not getting nutritious meals. They're not getting meals, so they want to eat because they're eating so much fast food. So they want to keep eating.
So we just have to share continually, and we just information. We don't want to be a criteria for anyone. All we want to do is give information that has been a blessing to us, and we know others that have been blessed by it. I want to share this before I close. I had one of my brothers. He high blood pressure, diabetes, on medication, everything. The first step he took is he went on a plant-based diet. Then he actually went somewhere and they showed him what to do to keep his blood sugar. So he started tracking his own blood sugars. He got with his doctors and everything, and he started exercising. Exercise is very important in any plan that we implement. Exercise, regular, consistent exercise. So he started, fixing his meals, his own, plant-based meals. He was eating like, first meal, large, tracking his blood sugars, and his blood sugar started going down, down, and down. We eventually came off the medications. Did real good for about a year. I mean, everything was under control. Blood pressure, blood sugars, everything. Then he went back to the regular diet, stopped exercising and different things, stopped just, whenever he felt hungry, he ate. So what happens is, we have to be consistent in being examples for other people. And that's the whole point, because this can be done, because it has been done in our lives, and we know others that are doing it. I can share testimony after testimony about what this 2 meal a day plan has done for me. I don't know exactly when I started the 2 meals a day plan, but once it started, when you lay down at night and your stomach is empty, when you wake up in the morning, you're going to feel refreshed. You've had that restorative sleep, and you're going to wake up and go about your day with prayer and study, and you will eat that nice big meal because you're going to be hungry. And what happens, I'll share this with you. When you eat that large meal at first, and just say, because of the way day is going, you're working and you get home late. Say you get home by 8 or 9 o'clock. Well, if you had that large meal, it'll sustain you. So we have to make a decision at that point. Oh, it's late, I'm hungry, I hadn't ate since this morning at 8 or 9. What should you do? You know what? Go to your knees and say, Lord, keep me through this night, and go to bed. Because another problem that happens, the later we stay up, the more we're apt to go to the refrigerator or the cabinet. So we need to go to bed, and I want to get these times straight. So we should go to bed no later than 10, right? So if you look 3 to 4 hours before that, a light meal, 6, 7 at the latest, And that's pushing it. But you want your stomachs to be emptied. And also, after your meal, 10 to 15 minutes of movement. You'll lose weight just like just doing that. Those simple things. But we have, our appetites have been so perverted. We got to eat. We always got to eat. That's why these restaurants are being filled. As long as they're open, they're filled. You can go up and down the street. Every restaurant, every parking lot is filled. There's fast food restaurants and these other restaurants that we have. So, I just want to close with that. And I just want us to, what's the next date going to be? We're going to come back to the third Sunday, by God's grace, we're going to come back to the third Sunday in August, and that date will be
It will be
the third Sunday in August.
it will be the 18th.
18th of August, same time, from 2 to 4. We'll come back to meet again, and you're thinking about looking at what?
Meal planning.
Meal planning. We're going to give you some real simple ways of meal planning. And that'll help you throughout the week. So I just want to close with a word of prayer. Father in heaven, we thank you, Lord, for just blessing us today to come together and just give what you've given us. And that's what we're supposed to do. Just share the blessings that we have received from the light that has been given us, and we have applied it to our lives. So I pray as this information has been shared, if anyone wants to reach out at any time, please do, because we're willing, because freely we have received this information and freely we give it. So Lord, I just pray that someone has been helped. If not right now, anyone that may look at this presentation at a later time, may they be helped in their process of a healthy way of life. And Lord, we thank you for this day. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. So good night, everyone.